What would you say is the biggest challenge with living in Canada right now?
Inflation. I feel like in Canada you could work your ass off, but you could work really hard, but you're not as rewarded as you are in other parts of the world, like America especially. If you're in one industry in Canada and you transfer over to America, like you see the reward for your hard work a lot more.
Do you think we should cut down funding on other countries and maybe help Canada a little more?
Yeah, I think there's a principle in life where the first person you should help is yourself. And your own household, and then you extend whatever help and support you want to provide to those around you.
What do you do for a living?
I'm a family doctor in Toronto.
How long have you been a family doctor for?
Around 6, 7, 8 years. It goes by quickly.
How much do you make?
For family doctors in Canada, generally after hiring nurses, receptionists, all the expensive, they could expect to make between 150 to 200 to 300K. There's a lot of variability.
And what made you decide to go into family medicine?
I think of my early memories in healthcare. I think of my mom's a physiotherapist, so coming to work with her in the hospital, my family's family doctor, and then some role models I had in family practice along the way.
Right now, with family medicine specifically, are you guys billed through OHIP or private billing?
Healthcare in Canada for physicians is public payment, private practice. If you think of your regular doctor's office, they're paid through the health insurance plans for the provinces, but then delivered privately. So they actually hire their own receptionists, nurses, pay for their own technology and rent. And that's where some of our colleagues in family practice aren't finding it financially sustainable anymore to run offices. And we need to change that. We need to update our funding models and make it so that everyone in Canada has a family doctor.
What does a day in the life look like for you, like once you enter the office?
I feel lucky, right? Because a regular day has some of the most beautiful or most challenging moments of people's lives, and I get to guide them through it.
What advice would you give someone that wants to pursue medicine?
Choose what you love, choose what you're passionate about, what lights you up, also what breaks your heart, so that'll add passion to what you choose to do, and then what you find purpose in, so where you give back to the world. So I think of those three things: passion, pain, and purpose as a good compass towards what will make a joyful career, and then also where you feel valued as well.
What'd you get? Coffee?
I don't know if I'm gonna be able to sleep.
I got a slice of pizza and soda.
You convinced me.
Yeah, let's go.
I got a sandwich.
Oh, wait,
It's fresh and it's
You got chocolate.
Canadian coffee, alright?
Do you know where I can heat this up?
Sorry?
Do you know where I can heat it? Do you have a microwave?
Oh, there it is.
Okay, thank you.
Damn, gas food, man.
What would you say in the last 10 years has ruined Canada?
Politicians. Politics have been like I'm a moderate person. I think politics have been terrible lately. Just terrible. Just like I said, economy, things have just been really rough. I think the last 10 years, it hasn't been easy living here, especially for students. We lost a lot of overseas students.
I totally agree with you on that. And is there anyone you would specifically blame?
I hate to point fingers, man. There's not one person. I think there's a collective of people that you can blame. Yeah. So,
Do you think Mark Carney's helping us or not?
and this is where like I can be on one side of the fence or the other. I like and dislike a lot of his views. I do. To point out one specific thing at the moment, I can't. The way he's dealt with Trump hasn't been the greatest.
The median income in Canada is $48,000 per year. Want to know where you stack up? Hi, my name is Paige, your wealth mentor. I'm here helping regular people become financially free. Richest 10% make $128,000. The richest 1% make $354,000 per year. The richest 0.1% make $1.3 million, and the richest 0.01% $5.5 million a year. Which one are you?
Canada and the United States share the world's longest international border. But when it comes to salaries and the cost of living, many people say the gap is becoming harder to ignore. Across social media, Canadians are comparing their paychecks with Americans in similar careers. While salaries vary by state, province, and profession, many high-demand jobs in the U.S. often offer significantly higher pay, especially in technology, healthcare, engineering, and finance. At the same time, Canadians point out that housing costs, taxes, and everyday expenses have climbed rapidly over the past few years. Many say their wages simply haven't kept pace with inflation, leaving them feeling like they're working harder but getting less in return. Supporters of Canada's system argue that healthcare, social benefits, and public services provide value that shouldn't be overlooked. Others believe higher American salaries can outweigh those advantages, depending on where someone lives and works. So, is the United States really pulling ahead? Or is this comparison more complicated than it seems? The answer depends on income, cost of living, taxes, and personal priorities. What do you think? Is the salary gap becoming too large for Canada to ignore, or does Canada still offer a better quality of life overall? Let us know your thoughts in the comments below. If you enjoyed this, don't forget to subscribe, like, share, and thank you for support. I'll see you in the next one.
I'm a resident doctor in Ontario, Canada, and I just got paid this morning, so let's talk about how much I made. In Canada, residents get paid bi-weekly, and this paycheck I earned $2,665.41. I want to give you some context for this pay. Now, I'm a second-year internal medicine resident, so I got paid a little bit more than my first year. Your salary is kind of tiered. It goes up every year. Alongside that, I did 4 call shifts that month, and that's what I'm getting paid for extra. So now this salary, it's bi-weekly. I get paid more or less depending on the number of call shifts I do. And each call shift has a different type of stipend that you get, depending on if it's a weekend, if it's overnight, if it's a home call. So it all kind of depends. But in this case, this was 4 overnight call shifts that I got paid for. I'll break this down even further, and I want to talk about how many hours that actually looks like. Over those 2 weeks, my weekly average work hour weeks, taking into account all my call shifts, was 75 hours. So if I work out my hourly rate over the last 2 weeks and the pay that I got, that was $17.70. The Ontario minimum wage is $17.60. I was getting paid 10 cents more than minimum wage to be a resident here in Ontario, Canada. Do you think we're paid fairly? I'd love to know your thoughts.
They say the average household income in Canada since the 1970s has gone up about 6 times, 6x. You know what they don't tell you? Back then, it was one boomer male supporting an entire family while the woman stayed home and took care of the kids in the house. Now, it's both parents in the household. So that's a lie. 6 times improvement? BS.
I'm not sure if you've noticed this. In Canada, you can grind yourself into the ground, and the money you actually keep is way less than you think. I had a client, he's an engineer, he's making around $150,000 per year, and he's out the door by 8 o'clock in the morning and home by 6. And of course, weekends when the job needed him. And he sits down with me and literally goes, Wallace, I'm cooked. I'm working as hard as I possibly can, and I still never feel like there's enough. What I do is I pull up his tax slip, and this guy is paying almost $65,000 a year to the CRA. And here's the thing, it wasn't that he wasn't working hard enough, he was making money in the single most expensive way you can in this country. I've been doing this for over a decade, and I see this constantly with hardworking people. The higher the income, the heavier the tax, and you work more and somehow you just lose more. So think about where your paycheck goes before it even hits your bank account. So the first one is Canada's progressive tax rate. The more you make, the higher the rate is. At 100 grand, your marginal tax rate is already in the 30-something% range. And every dollar you make, that's 30+%, it's gone. Then the CPP takes its cut, is around 11.5%, and EI on top of it too. So you think you earn $10, but only $5 or $6 actually land in your pocket. So you go, fine, I'll just work more and make it back, right? But here's what nobody tells you. Your time has a ceiling. You have 24 hours a day, and that is it. You just simply cannot sell more of it than you have. And that's what we call the busy trap, right? Trading time for money is the least efficient way to build wealth. So the real talk is, it's not about how much you make, it's always about how you make it. So if you're making a T4 salary, 100% of what you make are taxed. But if you run this income through a company and pay yourself dividends, that's in a lower rate, and you can control the timing. Or you can make your cash flow from capital gains. Only half of it even counts as income, right? So $1 there beats $1 of salary by a mile. Or you can generate the income from the TFSA account, and every single dollar it earns is tax-free, period. So look, the same amount of money, but the right structure, right account, and right channel, and you keep way more of it. Because here's the part that most people miss. Canada's system isn't built to reward you of selling your time. It's built to reward you of owning stuff, right? Like a company, investments, assets. And if you feel like this is you, you always being busy and never getting ahead is not that you are not working hard enough, and you are just not using the right playbook, and that we can fix it for you.
Hi, I'm Laura Harris from North Track Immigration, and here's something many nurses don't know before moving to Canada. Your base salary is only part of the picture. Many nurses in Canada earn significantly more than their base salary because of overtime, night shifts, weekend premiums, and statutory holiday pay. For example, a registered nurse with a base salary of around $100,000 could earn around $120,000 to $140,000 or even more by picking up extra shifts, depending on their employer, province, and collective agreement. The same applies to licensed practical nurses, who can substantially increase their annual income through overtime and shift premiums. So, when you're comparing nursing salaries across Canada, don't just look at the hourly wage. Ask yourself overtime opportunities, shift differentials, and premium pay, because that's where many nurses significantly increase their earnings.
Here's a stat that will, I know, shock people because it has never failed to. In 2018, Premier Wynne raised the minimum wage from $11.40 an hour to $14 an hour and gave a raise to 38% of working Ontarians.
Right, that's a big number. 38%.
38% of working Ontarians were making less than $14 an hour.
Jesus Christ! Yeah.
Now, if you just extrapolate $14 an hour to any quality of life, you can't do it.
It is not at all part of a quality of life. In California, they've gone to $20 an hour.
Right.
And McDonald's immediately announced that they're going to install automated order takers in every restaurant. There's no human will take your order in California McDonald's. So as much as you try to find ways, because by the way, and I appreciate there's some restaurant owners out there, etc. In Ontario, I wouldn't be too fucking shook up by $20 an hour minimum wage. This is an incredibly expensive province to live in. Okay.
Here's how much you need to earn annually to be in the top 10% of income earners in Canada by age group, according to Statistics Canada. Feel free to leave your salary, occupation, and age in the comments to see if you made it in the top 10%. At ages 55 to 64, you need to earn $113,000 per year. At ages 45 to 54, you need to be earning $125,000 per year. At ages 35 to 44, you need to be earning $119,000 per year. At ages 25 to 34, you need to be earning $88,000 per year. And at ages 20 to 24, you need to be earning $45,000 per year to be in the top 10% of income earners in Canada. Let me know in the comments how you compare.
How rich do you actually need to be in the top 10% in Canada at your age? Now, before you guys come at me for these numbers, these are all surveys conducted through Statistics Canada. The top 10% of 21-year-olds in Canada have an estimated net worth of $397,000. At 22, the estimated net worth for the top 10% is $442,000. At 23, it's $486,000. At 24, it's $530,000. At 25, the top 10% have an estimated net worth of $576,000. At 26, it's $595,000. At 27, it's $613,000. At 28, it's $632,000. At 29, it's $651,000. And at 30, it's $670,000. Now again, I want to clarify that this is the top 10%, so it's the richest of the rich, so don't let this discourage you. If anything, just use it as motivation.
I cannot believe you.
Rose, listen to me. I can explain.
You are making $500,000 and you were only going to pay me $30,000?
You're getting $30,000? I'm getting $1,000.
You guys are getting paid?